What's up, everyone? Good morning. We are back again with another episode of the South Florida Gamers podcast. Sorry for the late arrival, and that's simply due to me just with technical difficulties getting the camera sorted.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it happens, but you know, live and learn. But anyways, welcome. We're back again with another episode. I'm just drawing a blank in my mind right now, but honestly, I just want to go ahead before we get with our guest of today's episode. I just want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone for following the South Florida Gamers podcast, tuning in, whether they're watching it through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, listening and following on Spotify and all other audio hosting platforms. And if you want to continue to support us, greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and follow. Subscribe if you want to. Any support is greatly appreciated. And, share the stream, share the podcast. Let people know that, hey, there is a gaming podcast in South Florida and it is open to anyone and everyone. So we would like to get anyone on the podcast. We're down to have new guests, new faces, and, get their story, get their origins, all things like that. So, share the podcast, continue to support us. Greatly appreciate it. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get in with today's guest. And before I even get in with today's guest, of course,
The intro for me. Good morning, folks. Your co-host, Waluigi. We're on the 84th episode, and holy smokes, time's been going by so fast. Last episode, we had the Smashcast going on.
Yeah.
And now, we're with this guy. How's it going?
Hey, how we doing, man? You guys know me. For people who don't, my name is Sleeves. That's what I go by for short. I owner-operator the Sleeves Rolled Up series. That is a charity smash event that we host in West Palm Beach, where we take proceeds. Half of the entries go to veterans and first responders through a not-for-profit company. And yeah.
I actually did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's tireless effort. But, that having veterans and first responders in my family, I thought that was more important to allocate that than to, use that for my own or just for the venue, just to retain. It's a cause that I'm willing to do for charity. So
that's awesome.
Something I'm really.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're a veteran.
Yes.
So thank you for your service.
Appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you everyone who's listening, who is out there working tirelessly to save the countless lives that you do. We appreciate you. Even if you're not thanked enough, we thank you here.
Well said. All right, so in our usual traditional fashion, for our guests, especially if it's their first time, we go through this interview process where we would like to know everything about you. We make the episode about you. So,
okay, awesome.
That said, we want to know your gaming origin story. Like, what is your gaming background? Like, how did you get started into gaming?
I've been playing games probably since before I can remember. Actually, growing up, I was really sick as a child. I had a lot of asthma issues, so I had to stay home a lot. So my mom, coming from the means that we did, we didn't have a lot, but she made sure to provide me with some sort of entertainment. So my first system, of course, was a hand-me-down Super Nintendo.
Ooh, nice.
Yep. I'm old. I'm 31, showing some age. It's all good. But from there, Super Mario World was probably the first game that I can remember playing to its entirety, and that's really what hooked me there. It was just the graphics. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that now in times, but the graphics were amazing. Coming from looking at people playing Atari, that was the best thing in the world, it was great. And then moving on to other games throughout the years, and one of the games that really stuck with me, actually, which kind of led to what I do in the FGC and my love for it, was getting Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo, which is probably the worst port ever made. But when you're 5-6 years old, that's the best thing in the world. I'm playing this game that I would have to go to the arcade at home all the time for free. So I got to learn some stuff. I think for the first 5 years, I just learned Hadouken. That was my signature move. I didn't know how to do much else, but
can't go wrong with Fireball.
It was Fireball, zoning. It was great. I guess that would be the origins, more or less, of getting into the gaming. Gaming is something that's always been involved in my life, from playing shooters to the Call of Duty Black Ops and even Halo 2 days, LAN parties at people's houses.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I love when people tell us about these stories.
Yeah, it's old. It's old. I mean, it get really hot. I mean, you can imagine the heat from like a big venue, an arcade, and put that on a smaller level with like 8 people, big pregnant CRT TVs, bunch of Xbox originals, with the white and black button on them. And playing LAN parties all day, that was kind of our thing.
I never heard anyone say the big pregnant TVs.
I think that's kind of
that's a new sentence for me at least.
the stuff that Melee is played on. If you're
right.
the kids.
You're right.
Yeah, and that's kind of where my origin started, and then eventually, as I got older, I got more into like the competitive side of gaming, getting into fighting games and like. Try to dive into RTS games. It's not for me, but I tried.
Yeah, it's a niche for people. That's understandable.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I give credit to those people. I tried Halo Wars, and I was just like, yeah, I'm getting bodied.
It is pretty boring.
Yeah. I there was always games like I think you guys would remember Command and Conquer.
Yes.
Command and Conquer, and I always played on PC. When I was younger, so that was always things I was diving into. RPG games. Especially JRPGs, I really love. I mean, there is a game called Illusion of Gaia. It's probably a little niche now, but it's like a JRPG, action RPG that's really got me into it. And, of course, Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah, classic. And the list goes on from there, the Final Fantasies. And then once we got to the 3D era, that just opened up the whole realm of possibilities.
That really did, actually. Everything 3D just changes completely.
Yeah. I remember getting my PlayStation, my first PlayStation. One of the first games I got, which, considering the content, I probably shouldn't have got anyway, was Metal Gear Solid 1.
Oh dear God.
Which is my favorite series, gaming series probably of all time, next to Street Fighter. I'm sorry, Capcom fans. Metal Gear Solid's goated.
Yes, it is.
And just playing through that alone, I mean, at the time, the story, the graphics, the gameplay, it was just so like different. It was just so unique, and I was like, man, if this is where the state of games are going, like I'm in. I'm fully invested. And just playing from there, like getting into the online era. Getting into the online era was great because you got to finally, play your games with your buddies at your house, and you didn't have to do those sweaty LAN parties. So that was great. Playing, I think my first like multiplayer game I really got into, like besides Halo, was the Call of Duty on Xbox 360.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I learned to get very salty, very angry. I was like, man,
don't we all?
I think that's the most rage-inducing game.
Yeah, it is rough, and I mean the internet connections are not what they are now.
Oh
so,
my goodness!
you hit a shot on somebody, and I guess they were behind the wall. The game says they're behind the wall, but I saw them, so it was kind of like rough connection. But we didn't have anything better, so now we're kind of blessed with like the rollback net codes of SF6 and all these great games with dedicated servers. It's really top tier.
Nice.
Did you ever experience the Modern Warfare 2 party chats?
Yeah. Some of those things, obviously, we're not going to repeat on here. What was said. But, it was a different era. And,
I had to ask out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah. I definitely got to experience the original Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. And, it's just what it was.
The best.
Yeah, it was the best.
I don't care what anyone says. It's the best.
It's like you had to be at a certain age range to know you've been through the party chats.
Yeah. I mean, going in, I think nowadays most people would just mute everybody if it was how it was back in the day, because it was just a little.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, when I see articles of like, for not to cut you off with your story, but when I see articles of, hey, they're coming up with AI technology to ban people who are being toxic online, I'm just like, bro, the mute button has existed for over a decade, like.
And then there's party chats.
And there's party chats.
And then there's party chats, which are just as toxic. because you're there with your buddies and y'all talking a whole bunch of shit that
Literally.
you're not supposed to be, that's not supposed to be said. There's also some sus stuff that be said in these party chats.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, yo, the mute button has always existed. Just encourage players to, hey, if you don't like the lobby that you're in, you have two options: mute the entire lobby or find another lobby. It's simple. You don't have to spend more money on more resources to develop an AI bot that's going to detect, online harassment from people, especially if they're, talking on comms. I'm just like, bro, y'all don't have to do all that. That's just unnecessary.
Definitely unnecessary. It's one of the first things you see if you did the update for the latest Call of Duty is like you get so many strikes for like harassment.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, now we get to the level of what dictates a strike. Let's say I didn't like your gameplay and I thought you were cheating. I could just say, oh, well, he's saying X, Y, Z. He's racist. He's whatever.
Yeah.
So then that's like who's really like, it becomes more problematic when
It really does.
you can just leave. You can just
Yeah.
not listen to it. That's the easiest resolution, in my opinion. Just not deal with it. But, like I said, it's a different era. I mean, it's funny enough, speaking on that different era, of course, I host tournaments, I host Smash events, and
Yes.
I'll stand by somebody just to watch them, probably like the distance we are. And they're like, hey, can you back up a little? And I'm like, well, you guys could have never played in an arcade where you have a bunch of people behind you yelling and you're playing Tekken 3. And
Literally.
yeah, and like people are screaming down your ear, it's getting hype, and like and I'm 4 feet away from you, and so it's funny, like, and not to pick on the Smash community because I love them, but
No, it's entertainment. Don't you worry.
yeah, it's just funny that now we're a little bit more like we want space, and we're not used to that kind of maybe environment anymore, of the newer generation maybe. For me.
Nah. I mean, I can definitely relate to that because you do have those people who are they're I would say socially awkward. They're not used to being in that kind of environment, so they're just feel very odd and out of place. Like why is this person up on me or whatnot? Because they're not used to that.
Yeah.
Versus people who are in their 30s or even close to their 40s. We grew up around that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the more the merrier, and it builds hype. It builds the intensity.
It builds pressure.
Yeah, and pressure of it is too. So for other people who are just like take a couple of steps, unless they're not breathing down your neck.
Right.
You should be all right.
Yeah, as long as it's not neck breathing distance, you're good.
No, yeah, if I could smell you from behind me, that's a problem. But like,
Yeah, I'd be scared.
Yeah, I'd be a little scared,
Yeah, definitely.
especially at some of these gaming events. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yep.
100%.
I ain't gonna question it.
Please use your deodorant, guys. Mouthwash,
Showers.
showers,
I mean, just practice good hygiene.
good hygiene. Absolutely.
We had to say this at least once a podcast, or at least once every few podcasts.
Like if you're going to go to a social event, whether it's a gaming event or even something anime or whatnot, just like practice good hygiene. It is not going to kill you, and to do that, you just want to make sure that you take a shower.
God damn it, Grim.
You take a nice good shower. You put on some deodorant. You put on some some lotion and whatnot because you don't want to come out the house looking ashy and shit.
No.
I mean, I'm ashy right now. My feet ashy and shit, but that's whatever. It's morning time, so y'all ain't looking at my feet. But
Too early.
That's the struggle of us darker fellows. We got to always buy lotion. We got that extra added
Man, it is a
maintenance.
struggle.
The moments I'm blessed to be light
it's an
skinned.
eternal struggle. Man.
Yeah, it's yeah. Mind you, a lot of people don't know. White people or people of lighter complexion do get ashy. You just can't really see it. So that is a thing. I'm just saying. But anyways, yeah. Going back to that, yeah. I mean, it's just like a different gaming environment now, and I love it. I love fostering the new generation. I think it's up to really like us as like the older generations to really adapt.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah.
easier to put on sandals and to carpet the world, some people say. So it's easier to make those adjustments, but within reason. We can't let things lean one or the other way. I've been guilty of myself of having like back in the day, a boomer mentality, especially about a certain game that we like to talk about.
Super
Mortal-
Street Fighter. Oh, no, Mortal
Kombat.
Oh, God.
Just so, I mean, okay, so here's my history of Mortal Kombat. I
Spill
played
the
it.
tea.
I played it when I was younger. The one I enjoyed the most was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and for some reason I really liked it. But after the newer generations, the NRS, I was just like, man, these animations are janky. I do not like this. And right now I'm trying to be more open because of people like Grim TG and, you guys. I'm trying to be more open to playing Mortal Kombat regardless of my prior bias. But, man, I mean, wait, NetherRealm, come on, Ed Boon, what are you doing? The Smoke has the low kick. It's like down 2 or down 4.
Oh, yeah.
It looks kind of like the DJ kick. Yeah, so it's like history is repeating itself again with that. So it's pretty funny. I know that some Mortal Kombat fans are going to be a little upset. This is in no way means to deter anybody from playing the game.
Go on.
The combos look saucy. I'm gonna give MK the flowers. The combos look saucy.
But-
The cameo system looks amazing. I just don't like certain design choices with the animation.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah. It's just, and I was saying it earlier to you. I like the fact that they added the sort of like wave dash, block dashing style mechanic because it makes the game, at least for some characters, some privileged characters, makes the game run faster. But MK to me has always felt like it had cement boots on, and compared to like playing a Street Fighter, a King of Fighters, certain things like that. But I mean, MK is goated for many reasons. That's why they have the performance they do. I mean, the story mode's godlike. It's probably one of the best, like, besides, like, the fluidness of animations, is probably one of the best graphically, like, designed fighting games in the last, like, couple years. I mean, MK1 looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, but as
Those
for
who haven't
me
played
playing
I'm
it,
not spoiling it.
what?
I already play. I'm currently under early release, but I ain't saying shit.
No. I haven't even played the story yet, so please don't. I'm gonna.
I'm not saying a single word.
Don't spoil it.
No. And people who have played the game, don't spoil it in the chat for the love of God.
Yeah,
Please don't.
Don't drop no spoilers in the chat, or I'm gonna have one of my mods ban you.
There you go. You got the hitters
I had to
out
say I
there.
had to say this now beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But MK is known for that, the amazing story mode. It looks really well. I personally, even though these games aren't as popular, I personally really liked Mortal Kombat Armageddon when I was younger. That was their last, like, 3D game.
No.
was-
It was that abysmal trash. DC.
No, yeah.
Mortal
and
Kombat versus DC.
Not that one. Not that one. I hate that one. I hate that one.
I am so glad nobody has asked me, hey, since today is Mortal Kombat
Kombat.
pre-launch event here at Flynn's, nobody has not asked me about, hey, are you gonna do Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe? I'd be like, no, I will
I'm not.
never do an event with that fucking game ever again. Not ever again, but never. You will never see me play that game, touch that game. That game is abysmal dog shit. Like, literally one of the worst Mortal Kombats I have ever played in my life. I thought Armageddon was bad up until I played that game. And I was just like, what in the fuck? Like, I understand what they were trying to do, but...
Oh my god. I hated the story mode so much in playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. I remember that even at my age at that time being like really bad for like an MK. I was like, this isn't really like normal MK storytelling. For sure. One game I wish they'd bring back is Shaolin Monks, man. I know it's not a...
Yes,
Yes.
they need to bring back Shaolin.
Yeah, let's go. It's not like a fighting game per se, but like that was
It's
sick.
a game that's built on story.
It's because it was so like being able to just unlock the random stuff where you'd run into like Ermac, fighting these like secret boss characters and playing the game over again as Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
And then you see like each individual fatality, how they do certain things, certain actions.
Yeah, yeah.
That was actually dope, low-key.
Dude, it's goated. I mean, MK is, they have a lot of good things going for them, but I mean, I don't know. There's some of these animations Ed Boon should really, take another look at and go to the table.
I agree. I agree.
But that's not to say it's not fun. Don't let me deter you. I mean, it's an amazing game. I've played games that look like crap. I still play Alpha 2 religiously. That game does not look great today.
No, it does not.
So, don't let that deter you. You can have a lot of fun out of something, even if you don't agree with how it looks visually.
Facts.
For sure.
Agreed. All right. So with our next topic, I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on the current state of gaming?
Current state of gaming, going onto the FGC side, I really think a lot of people have said this, we're going into the next like renaissance era of FGC games.
Yes.
We have SF6, or a good Street Fighter out. Sorry, Street Fighter 5 was fucking trash.
Yes.
We have SF6, we have MK1, and we have Tekken 8 coming out. And then after that goes Project L, depending on if people like the 2v2 style. So we're
Also,
really
Grand Blue Fantasy versus.
Grand Blue Fantasy, yeah, exactly.
And Under Night.
Under Night, Mark of the Wolves 2, finally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love SNK games, so I'm gonna be playing that for sure. But we have so many, there's so many coming out. There's many that I'm forgetting, but I think in the FGC side, the golden era of gaming is coming back, at least for the second wave. And even like the RPG games, I mean, Armored Core 6, I didn't play it yet, but that looked like it was really good.
I'm still playing it, and I'm still on my very first playthrough. I have
bro.
like a lot of other people that are like on their second or third playthrough. For me, I'm just taking my time with the game because I want to fully enjoy it for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've talked to people in my my chat that like, oh, I'm on New Game Plus. I'm like, man, the game's been out 4 days.
Pluses are there.
Yeah, like, did you call out of work? Like, what are you doing? Like,
You'd be surprised.
yeah, I honestly, I'm gonna just to put myself out there. I took 3 days off when GTA 5 first came out to beat the story.
Wasn't that like 13 years ago?
That was 13 years ago or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to call you out, but
Hey man, I'm old. All right, I said it in the beginning. I'm old.
no. GTA is just one of those long-lasting games that have been on 3 fucking consoles.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, well, 5, yes. Oh my goodness! Like since the PS3,
PS3.
and then the PS4, and now it's on the PS5. And it's still going
Along
going
with
strong.
Xbox too.
yeah, it's so. And what's giving? I mean, besides the content they're adding, what really gives life to the game is like those random like RP servers or like things like that you can get enjoyment out of online. Like even it's not Grand Theft Auto, but I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 online again
Cowboy
recently.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, basically. I love I'm a big Western shill, so if you ever want to like talk to me about anything, you could always lead with Westerns. It's just a weird thing. So I've always liked the character Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear. Yeah, he's just a big. He's himself is like a Western kind of weeb, so like it was kind of funny because he's like a Russian guy that was really into like wearing boots and like revolvers. So I thought that was really sick, especially as a kid. But
Kojima was definitely onto something with his character.
yeah, Kojima is I would say a mad genius. He's definitely a little crazy, but I think you have to be to make the games that he does,
You have to have some kind of sanity, or like a little bit lower than the standards.
Yeah, a little bit lower than the standards. I mean, those are the talk about a few games that like have made me like emotional throughout the years besides like the Red Dead Redemption 2 story.
Oh yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Going back to play, and I'm sure I've heard the text tone, so I know you're a Metal Gear fan, but going back to play Metal Gear Solid 4 and then going back to Shadow Moses Island where you hear the music from the intro from the first game, I was playing that game with my girlfriend. I was crying. She's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I'm good." I'm like, it's like you play this when you're younger, then like all the years back, like you see the character age and you're aged and you're like, man, this really like hits with me. So
Yeah.
those games are amazing, but Kojima is a little wacky.
You definitely have to be.
Yeah, you have to be to make it something like Death Stranding even, and unfortunately they never got to release
PT.
the PT. Yeah, that was very unfortunate.
Oh, the Silent Hill PT, that one exclusive game. Man, people try to sell their consoles with the game still in it.
I
Yeah.
almost bought one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost bought one.
The highway robbery was real.
Yes.
I've never seen anybody sell their PS4 for like $1,500 or at least around like $2,000 just for a beta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they dissected the beta as well, seeing what makes the jump scares happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. But to get back to the like the state of gaming on the FGC Smash side.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what we're seeing now, which kind of helps newer players get in, but always has like some conflict with the older players, is a lot of like what I call rounding the edges on fighting games, making things easier. I think even Brian F said it on like a Twitter post where Street Fighter 4 was the last game that you could win off of just out executioning somebody. They've kind of like made everything where like, you know, I was in a lobby, me and my buddy were in a lobby with Knuckle Dude the other day, and he wasn't doing that bad. And this is Knuckle Dude. This is a CPT champion.
Yeah.
Versus a guy who plays online and doesn't even go to locals, my buddy. So they've really made things easier to the point where like you're the difference between the higher skill player and the lower skill player is marginal in comparison to like Street Fighter 4 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I know Red Spectre talked about MVC3 when he was on here.
Yeah.
I share a very similar opinion. Not on the X Factor regard. I just didn't like the way they structured their combos versus like the 4 buttons with light punch, heavy punch, light kick, heavy kick. Now they have like dedicated launchers. And that kind of started to me like the era of like rounding the edges. Then it became more prevalent throughout the years, especially with Street Fighter V.
That game is trash.
Yeah, but MVC2, goated. I'll always play that. I'm an old boomer, so anything that's like Alpha 2, Marco the Wolf, anything old, like I'm for it because I love the jank. I still play Melee because it's just so janky and broken that it's just kind of hilarious to get into.
I'm right there with you. Like I'm the same way with Def Jam Fight for New York. Like
Oh yeah,
like yeah, I know it's an
There's
old
no
game.
real there is no frame data or anything. There's just straight hands.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah.
straight hands, and you can mash too in that game as well. And you know you can pray something happens. Like sometimes mashing works in that game, but you know I'm right there with you when it comes to like playing older games because there are just some things that are just like broken. It's unfair, but just like, you know what? I don't care. It's fun. I enjoy it, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's this guy called Theory Fighter on YouTube who made this whole video on Rose's crouching medium punch in Street Fighter Alpha 2, and how
that messed up.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most broken normals like in like fighting games.
How broken are we talking?
I mean it has a crazy priority. It anti-airs. It's kind of stuffs out anything. It combos real well. And just as a character, Rose is real broken. I mean, she had an illusion super where she could do 30% on your chip damage.
Oh.
Off chip. So like it was those are rough games. It's rough games to definitely go back into now and learn. I had like after I stopped playing Street Fighter V competitively, I really deep dive into you guys know Fightcade, of course.
Yeah.
Fightcade, and that you can play the old, very niche old games there, and those guys and girls who play it will teach you a lesson.
Yes.
And like whether you want to play this game or not, they will definitely demoralize you. And it's an experience, man. I really loved it. I'm like, man, you could really see, like this guy has not stopped playing this game since this game was prevalent, and it's like really amazing to see like someone who's like mastered their craft. And even getting hit by it, I'm like, I'm salty, but I'm like, I gotta respect it. Like, this dude's been labbing this game for 25 years.
Oh my God, it's like looking at the people that played Third Strike. Those are
Yeah.
where most of the online clips are from. I just love it's from Fightcade, or at least some version of it.
Yeah.
People just play online and kill each other.
You always see like those big YouTube like FGC personalities like Smug and Justin Wong. They always go randomly back in Fightcade and play. And these are like top level players. Justin Wong was a multiple Third Strike champion, and he was going online and he'll lose to like some random S rank player. And he's like, man, I'm like, man, where was this guy back in Evo 2004? Like it's crazy what the skill and what people are doing nowadays.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
I just love the clips where every time he gets parried, he just remembers Daigo, or somebody just brings up that Evo moment 37. That shit is classic.
He actually played. There's a clip where he played Daigo recently in Street Fighter 6, and Daigo did like a parry situation to level 2, which is the same super as SA3 for Third Strike.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that? And you see Daigo's like laughing on his end, not even, I don't understand Japanese, but he's saying something and laughing and he just logs off. And I'm like, man, these guys, that's amazing. Just for them to like both go through that moment that more or less like a lot of people credit to like starting a surge back into fighting games and being so like nonchalant. I mean, Justin Wong has so many videos where he's getting Daigo parried and he uploads it on his own channel. It's like out of fun now. It's really great. It's really great to see.
He definitely does like
Love it.
have entertainment streams as well.
Yeah.
But the fact he says "Let's go, Justin" when someone
Let's
says
go.
parries,
Yes. Yeah, it's so funny.
the disrespect is the funniest thing I've seen in that interaction.
I want to meet the guy, or at least see an interview with the guy who said "Let's go, Justin" in the crowd, because we haven't heard from him yet. I think.
We haven't.
Yeah, I want to know who that is. Just commentators curse. Yeah, it's real.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Happened to me. Happened to somebody else. It'll happen to everybody at least once in their lives.
Yeah.
All right. So next topic. You had to be there moments. What moments could you share with everyone that, hey, you had to be there for this moment? Like something that happened throughout your entire history of just gaming and whatnot, or anything gaming related that like, yo, you had to be there for this.
Man, it was just to focus on one would be a little hard. There's always little moments. I also haven't gone out to a lot of big areas if we're talking like FGC stuff or even gaming stuff in general. But when we used to have there's a card shop I think down here called Pro Play Games that used to be in West Palm Beach, and we would go there every day. And then we had what's his name now, Flash Metroid.
Yes, I've heard.
And a couple other pros show up, and it was really like great to like be there with the homies who were all learning, and they were beating these like professional guys, and the guys getting like salty, all the options select coming out. It was just like, for me, that was like so nice, like for West Palm. And it was just like, yo, like it's hard to describe. Like you definitely had to be there. Like just seeing the salt from people who think like, I'm going to come here and not get off the setup to immediately lose their first match to an Ibuki.
And then get off the
setup and have to wait, and then they're like, oh man. So to me, it was that. And another big moment for me, definitely in gaming, was Fight for 9-5. I don't know. Did you guys end up going to?
No.
It was in the Palm Beach Convention Center. It was a pretty big like tournament for Smash and a couple other games. ESAM was there. A lot of different pros. Oh. I competed in. It was around the release of Samurai Showdown.
Wait, which Samurai Showdown?
The Samurai like 6.
Oh,
Samurai
okay.
Spirits.
2019 then.
Possibly, maybe a little sooner.
Oh, okay.
And that was a nice tournament. It was my like first ever like. You can't call that a major, maybe like a regional or something. I don't know. They've never come back.
I could classify it as a regional.
Regional. I got 9th in Sam's show. I was really happy about that.
Oops.
Yeah, it was good, man. I mean, it was funny because the guy I was playing with in casuals the whole time, and I'm sure this has happened to everybody, was smoking me. And I was like, man, I hope I don't see you in bracket till later. And to get into the top 8, he was my last match to get in the top 8.
Oh.
So I was kind of like, all right, GG's. It's Greg, if you're listening, you owe me a rematch, by the way. Times have changed. But yeah, to me, that was like great because I got to meet for the first time like an actual pro ESAM, and we had a brief conversation, and it was nice, and it was nice to meet people like that you see at all these tournaments, and they're actually humble. That was like a really good experience for me because sometimes you don't want to meet, not to say he was my hero, but they always say you don't want to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
But, in this case, I had a really good experience. So,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Some people have unpleasant moments with their heroes, and then they just become villains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You live long enough to be the villain, right?
Yep.
That's the Batman line.
Yep. It's happened to a few of my friends, and it's still entertaining to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I'm not surprised, Grim.
Grim?
He's like, yeah, I was there, and I won a free PS4.
Oh, whatever. Grim. Oh, man, the West Palm boys, I just have to say, are really, like, picking it up, man. They're really doing their Grim, especially. He's been doing his thing, and, I mean, Gamers Heaven, and he won MK. And no, he didn't win Street Fighter. Well, he won MK, competed in Street Fighter. West Palm has definitely got a good scene that's starting to grow again, and especially with, like, helps to like DK's Battle Lounge, which is a big support for West Palm Beach and Prodigy Games and Island for helping with on the DK side with everything. And it's really great because West Palm thrives the most when we have a home. When we lost Pro Play Games, when they moved back to Miami, we all kind of felt like, like Ronin Samurai or like Nomads. We don't know where to go. Where are we gonna play? Okay, I guess we're all just gonna stay home. And now that we have like a kind of a central location again, it's really like reinvigorated the spirits of the fighting game community in West Palm, and you're kind of seeing the results there with like your TG Grims and the couple times I was on the top a little bit, no big deal. The couple times I've got up there, but
your sleeves were rolled up.
They were. Yeah. I play a decent little Kimberly main in Street Fighter 6. Y'all can attest to that, but yeah, no, definitely. Those were my big moments for like gaming that you had to be there. Would really be like Fight for 9-5 and just those like sessions that Pro Play Games where we would just show up randomly and bunch of the people. It was a really bad business model, which is I think why they moved to Miami, because they only charged us $1 to play all day, and I can't imagine them thriving like that.
That is a bad business.
Yeah, like nothing to them now. I'm sure they changed some things, but like I probably would have charged a little bit more than that. Maybe they could have stuck around, but it definitely helped the scene, and I can't wait to see what DK's Battle Lounge Dreadnought does with what he's doing, because he's got a really sharp head on him, and he's really dedicated and focused, and he's really putting a lot of assets to West Palm, and West Palm sees it and really appreciates it. So I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Yeah, because I remember, me, being me TOing for the time that I've been doing now. I pay attention to not just what's here in Broward, but I pay attention to all of South Florida, just looking at the region, just looking at the entire map. And usually Miami have like a couple of locals every so often and whatnot. Some would come and then eventually they end up falling off, but I would say like the more consistent ones, the ones that are like here to stay for a good amount of time is like ROK Esports. You also have Next Level Miami. I know those two they're going to be in for a long time. Then you come up to Broward. You of course got Flynn's, who have been in the game since 2019. Gamers haven't just popped up this year in May. And West Palm, West Palm had, from what I remember, you had Holodeck
Smash. Yeah, Noble was the TO.
Yeah.
That's a buddy of mine.
Rex Baron.
Yeah.
For Smash. There was also Bula Kava,
yeah. There was a lot of Smash.
There was more Smash than anything else.
They're actually in. If you guys have heard of a guy, I mean, he doesn't TO anymore, but his name is Willvolution.
No.
And he used to TO Soul Calibur 3, 4. I mean, this is back in the day when there was Guerrilla Games and Play and Trade.
Guerrilla Games.
This is, I mean, they've stuck around. They didn't last, but I mean, he was a TO about 15 years ago in West Palm, and it actually has like a pretty decorated history. It's never like lasted long enough for people to talk about it. Like that era was great, but that was pre-streaming, and I think Twitch was still called Justin TV.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
So Evolution used to hold it down, and then he got more into he probably comes here for cons. He got more into going to the cons and things like that, and becoming more on the YouTube side. And then it's really been like a matter of like not having tournaments, just kind of like pop-ups, but mainly the ones that have been thriving have been Smash.
Yeah. For the longest, and now that. And I remember Herbs, Waluigi, Fourface, they were like trying to, start up something up in West Palm or whatnot, like just a scene for West Palm, because there was like literally nothing up in West Palm like last year and the year prior to that. But now, DK coming in to the, coming into the game as a TO and starting something with Prodigy, as I had him on the podcast a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, I definitely watched that.
I told him like, you need to take the same route that I did when I started with Flynn's, and that is invest in a venue to the point where they invest in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like make Prodigy your main home and just build from there.
Yeah, that's kind of the route, and I'm glad you brought that up. That's kind of the route that, because I've been TOing for 2 years. I'm at my second venue now. Everything is beautiful there with great hopes to stay. They're really happy with what we have going on. I mean, my last tournament had, 22 entries for
goodness.
West Palm. That's a good number.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're really happy, and now we're getting to the level where we're gonna talk about how much space they want to dedicate to their esports side of their venue, because it's at a kava bar. It's at Coastal Kava. They actually are. The wife owns the bar, and the husband, who's a veteran, owns the not-for-profit that I work for. Mm-hmm. They actually made this shirt for me, so
Aw.
thank you. I appreciate
That's
that.
so sweet.
And they're really, really passionate about gaming, or about trying to get into gaming, but they just, they have no idea. So I'm kind of bridging that for them and hoping to foster that relationship. I went to a local, actually, Thursday. It was a random monthly. I was hoping it would be a little low key, like 8 players. I'm like, I'm gonna go in, maybe win a couple bucks and smash. And they had like 25 people at this monthly, to the point where, and the anxiety as a TO, maybe like they had 2 setups, 25 people.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm like,
That's rough.
we're gonna have to start. I'm like, hey, I know this is your thing, and I know I'm here as a player. You guys, they know me as a TO already, but like, yeah, I think you need some help. So we brought out some setups from the car. We got things moving, because starting at 9, 25 people. I mean, the bar, they'd be there till the next day.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, and just learning, and that's a shout out to them, Brawlapalooza. They did an amazing job. They're young, ambitious kids, but the ambitions are definitely more than the experience, and that's where I'm kind of just trying to give them whatever information I have to kind of help them out and help them foster, because they do an excellent job. They have a stream. The bar that they do it at really is dedicated like a full space to their esports, and that's their sponsor. That's amazing. It's just, I was telling them, like, I know you guys weren't prepared for 25 people, but this is what you got. So we got to make it work, because people are going to be sleeping here waiting for bracket to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's definitely potential in West Palm. Unfortunately, it's like one of those things that sometimes they just don't stick around long enough. I'm grateful and happy to have had the following I've grown in the last year and a half, 2 years, from 4 customers to like 4 customers at a bar where I was just randomly doing a tournament to 20 something all dedicated followers who come and support every time. That's always, I'm grateful for even one new person or the people who come, because it is hard. It is hard to do Thursday night tournaments that end at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
When people go to work, people like Undergod, Edgar, he's our age. I always call it the 30 plus club, who, have to go to work early in the morning, and he's still out there every event. He even came last time with his girlfriend just to donate to the pot and to play Baldur's Gate with her in the corner. It was really funny, actually. You could play Baldur's Gate split screen. I didn't know that. I'm like, that's sick. But
Sounds like that's something he would do.
yeah, it's definitely an Edgar move. Shout outs to Edgar. He's a
love
goat.
Edgar.
But yeah, man, it's just really about how dedicated. The people will get dedicated. It's just a matter of keeping our relationships with our venues. DK's got an amazing thing going on right now with Prodigy, and that's only going to build from there. And just keeping your relationships, as a TO. And one thing I always stress to people who always want to wonder, because I'm a charity event. It's not under any kind of sanctioning or anything. It's just for charity. It's just I donate half of the money that the venue pays me to the players in a pot bonus every time, because I just don't, I don't. I could use it. Everybody could use money.
Yeah.
But I see the value in a lot of these players who compete and come out. The reality is that they may never get to have a traveling career like your ESAMs and your MVDs or let's say your Justin Wongs or
anybody. Really.
Or anybody really. So if I can do whatever I can to put a little bit more money in their pocket so they can at least get something out of it, I'm happy to do it. I have a kid who wins. I call him kid. He's 22, but I have a kid who wins at my tournaments consistently. And as a TO, you always feel some type of way when you're paying the same person. Some TOs do, some TOs don't. and they're consistently winning, it may affect your attendance or whatever, but he has a son, so like I'm not gonna be stressed about paying him $120 for winning. Like, here you go buy some diapers, man. I mean, we're in 2023 with this economy.
Real talk.
Yeah, like you can use it. You're paying $10, $15 to enter at any of these tournaments. Like, you can use it. Take it, please. You earned it. You've been labbing. You've put in the work. But I always say to TOs who are starting and anybody who's listening now, like, focus on selling an experience, not just a bracket.
Agreed.
Because
Agreed.
That's
Real talk.
Yeah, that's what keeps people coming. The people who come, the 0-2ers, the 1-2, the 2-2ers, whoever, even 3-2, 4-2, they need a reason to go. When they see a big name, like at my tournament, they'll see J Mafia, who's a real, pretty well-known Smash player who is up there with the ranks of like Choco Taco and all these people. That's intimidating. They know, hey, the chances are I'm not going to win today, but I'm going to go anyway because they like the experience, they like the vibe, and they like to come and chill. I always push my events as like a competitive tournament in a casual atmosphere. So that's what I really like to focus on, because at the end of the day, the experience is what keeps people there. Most people who go to majors are not making it out of pools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So knowing that they're never going to go out of pools, why do they go? It's for the experience. And that's what I tell everyone on a local level, or even TOs who've reached out to me in other states. Like, this is what you want to do. Make sure that the experience is good. The players will come, get your marketing up and things like that. And, of course, get your equipment right. But as long as the experience is there, people will return, regardless of how they perform in bracket.
That's true.
That is true. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
I've even told that to DK. When he was getting first started, I was like, focus on experience. Mm-hmm. Focus on giving people the best experience that you possibly can, because that's going to be the only thing that's going to get them to come back more. That's going to also get word of mouth. And you don't have to worry about having to spend a lot of money to retain what you already have, when that money could be used to grow what you have. Because oftentimes I see this with the TOs, where they'll just throw money, throw pop bonuses in hopes that, okay, we're going to get like a good number of people to come out and show up and whatnot. And that's a double-edged sword, because
It really is.
Yeah.
because you could throw in a lot of money, but if people don't know your event, then it's just like, what's the point?
You're giving it to a greater mass to the same person.
The same person. You're just
Yeah.
paying somebody more.
Yeah, so it's always best to, one, work on building your reputation, work on having a really great experience, so that way people are able to come out more, talk about the event more, share your event, and let other people know about it. So that way, as time moves on and you remain consistent at it, you're gonna grow, your numbers are gonna grow, and then that's gonna give you an opportunity to be like, all right, you know what? We've been growing to a good degree, to the point where we're just like, all right, let's take a chance to do something a little bit bigger and see where that goes.
Absolutely.
And that's how Fighter Fest became a thing.
Yep.
Hey, let's go. Hell yeah.
From the very first one, where like 2 Fighter Fests were literally outside of Flynn.
The outside days are the real ones.
Yeah.
Outside here?
Outside here.
Yeah. I was literally before we came in here.
Oh my God.
There's some people that remember the outside days of Flynn's, where we ran our tournaments outside, because this wasn't constructed and everything was just inside. So you had very little space to sit down and play on console and whatnot.
Yeah.
Very
Oh
little
my
space.
God, it was hot as fuck. I can
And
Imagine.
when we finally came inside, I was like, cool, now I'm doing, Fighter Fest 3 in here. That's when I came up with the idea of putting that TV up there. We also had the stage, which y'all see back there. It was also over here. We had one stage. Granted, we had one Smash player that fell off the stage.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Was it a pop-off?
No.
No. Like, I think he was adjusting his chair, and then...
And he just tilted back.
Yeah.
I'm glad he was okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
It was the funniest, most unfortunate incident. That's one of those weird moments that you cannot predict.
Yeah, and I was hoping, I hope no one falls off the stage. I hope no one falls off the stage, and then someone falls off the stage. And then someone fall off the stage. But the next time when we had the stage, we ended up having, instead of 1, we had 2. And we made it vertical instead of horizontal. So that way it's like, okay,
It's safer to go up at least.
yeah, like now you have a lot of space to like back
Go
up.
back, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the venue I use, there's this little like round area I was using. It's kind of like a corner like stage, and I was using it for grand finals. Mm-hmm. And then the owner told me like, you know, you got about this much room for somebody to back up before they fall, so you should probably move that. And I was just like, yeah, let me just turn this around real quick. And then
Good, you had hindsight.
yeah. They kind of predict. I mean, I'm sure they've probably fell themselves, so that's why they told me. But yeah,
The outside days were definitely a real one, especially if it was pouring. The humidity was also a matchup that nobody could predict.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
Like
free.
I wore a tank top just so I could function. This is where I actually liked wearing tank tops.
But overall, people enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
People,
It was fun.
and
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Is just the experience. You give people a really good experience to the point where they keep coming back because they know that, hey, I'm gonna have a good time, and I don't care if I go 0-2, 1-2. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the environment. I'm gonna keep coming out.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You know what I can't forget? The fact, like, one of your first matches, you were fighting FGC Gabe, and like Herbs was commentating, and I was briefly commentating. I was learning about Herbs before I joined Island. There was so much transition going on.
Is one of those names there Jimmy Crouton?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We figured.
Yeah. Anyways, Rob, go to work. You're working right now. Focus on your job.
You hit him with the job matchup.
I hit him with the government name too, Robert. You know who I'm talking about.
It's never too early for this.
Oh man.
I figured it was a joke, so that's why I was rolling. with
Yeah.
it.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, outdoor days. We've had then like Fighter Fest evolved in Broward, it was in Broward.
Yeah.
That was probably the most fun I had on my birthday because we were there till 2 a.m.
3.
3 a.m. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the night I turned 27, they were still playing Guilty Gear Strive.
Yikes.
Yeah, that was definitely an experience, and I am well. I'll say this on the podcast now for those that are watching and of course or listening that by next month we are going to start our planning for Fighter Fest.
Ooh.
6.
Ooh, let's go. Awesome.
And to make sure that I don't repeat the mistakes of last year, we are going to cap it. Like the player cap is going to be capped. There's going to be
Good
player
idea.
caps.
Good
Oh,
idea.
thank God.
Yeah, just so that one, it's a smooth tournament experience. We are also, and of course, we're also done on time because, granted, even though the event was a success, for those that do follow me on Twitter, I also said that it was a financial loss because a lot of money went into this, and it was definitely a learning experience.
Yeah.
Especially for me doing it at that level. So it's just like, okay, I can, we're learning from this. The owners are learning from this. And I think when we do the next one, of course, we're going to, downsize we're going to downsize a couple of things, but we're going to make sure that we're giving everyone the best experience possible. So that's going to be our primary focus. We're going to be downsizing a couple of areas, but focusing primarily on maximizing the amount of experience that people are able to get, and then of course the timing, because I know usually once the tournaments are done and over, people want to stay to play casuals or whatnot, because you also have people who are coming out of region who are want to get some games in, because this is going to be the one and only opportunity that they're going to have that chance.
Yeah.
So with that, y'all heard it here first. Fighter Fest, the planning for Fighter Fest 6 for next year is going to go into effect by next month.
Stay tuned.
Let's go.
So stay tuned. So, yeah.
I gotta wait a whole year. Damn.
Maybe less. More or less.
All right, that's okay. I'm waiting a year for Akuma anyway, so I can wait for Fighter Fest.
Oh.
I knew that.
You know you want to see it.
Modern Akuma is what I want to see.
Yes,
One
modern
button,
Akuma.
Raging Demon, guys. Let's go.
Exactly.
I know Silverback's fucking with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Forget the quarter circle punch. You're just gonna have forward heavy or forward special.
Oh, Drive Rush, Demon, all that stuff is gonna be so. Street Fighter 6 is so fun, but so wacky at the same time.
I love it.
It's great. I love it.
It's so wacky. Even Guilty Gear picked up on this Drive Rush. Is what I call it.
I mean, even I love how like a lot of people give gripe to like modern controls users or whatever like that. Like they're trying to alienate or whatever, like bully. But like we want to do anything we can to get more people in the scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're outplaying
'Cause-
right now.
Yeah, I mean, I got smoked by Modern Control Luke this morning as I was getting ready to come here, and I'm like, man, the Modern Control demons are out early. You know, they're
Yeah, one of my island brothers are literally a modern Luke.
Yeah,
That's master
yeah.
ranked.
oh, it could have been him. I don't know.
if it's Alex's nasty, I'm so sorry. You deserve some compensation.
No, thank God it wasn't. No, it's rough, man. It's great because like anything you can do to get more players to get into your scene is great because these are the same people who will say, "Oh, the scene is dead. The scene is dead. Nobody wants to." Well, you've already tried to alienate the people who wanted to play,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't think that's like intuitive to like building a scene. You know, like even with a lot of Smash players are converting to like playing Street Fighter and they're playing on modern controls, and I'll see like the little teasings of them saying like Smash terms like on shield and things like that. But I'm just happy to have them there.
Yeah.
I'm just happy for them to be there. I hope for them. Hopefully they'll stick to Street Fighter 7 and just play whatever other fighting game is. I want as many people as possible in the FGC.
Absolutely.
You can always pick and choose a game, but you can't pick and choose the players.
Yeah, facts. No, yeah. No. So it's
Man, this is some real talk. Holy crap, I was not expecting this early in the morning.
it's that
Save that for a
that long
compilation.
drive for us woke us up, you know.
Oh yeah. All right. So another topic. What are your gaming pet peeves? What are some things that bother you?
Bother me. Okay.
I've actually been curious about this since after interviewing Red Spectre, so go on.
I have two things that I would say really bother me. The first one I would definitely say is, and this is kind of, I'm talking to specifically the West Palm boys because I have their attention. That's the people I mess with. Give out your tech. Give your tech to your homies. Don't, like, they used to have that stupid saying back in the day, oh, save that shit for nationals. Y'all ain't going to nationals. You guys don't even go to locals.
Y'all ain't going to nationals.
tell me how to beat Honda. You know, like, I need to thrive in these brackets. The down south has killers.
You are calling them out. I love
am
it.
calling them out.
I've been waiting for someone to.
Hoidikus. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, it is definitely like, you know, the blade sharpens the blade mentality, right? Like if you give your tech to somebody or a way to beat something, you're gonna have to come up with another solution to beat them with them knowing your tech. So it just makes you a stronger player for it. Like yesterday, I know a lot of the Broward boys had like a session and they're all playing, chilling, vibing, and giving out information, labbing.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of community effort I would definitely would want to see more in West Palm Beach. I mean, we have a smaller player base for sure, but it still can happen. You know, it's things that we need to just focus on, especially to help out to the people who are traveling and competing, like your Grim TGs, like your Sleeves, people who are actually going outside of West Palm to play. You should be trying to try to help those players. Like, you don't get anything if we're friends and if I'm playing you in Street Fighter 6, and I'm not telling you that arc step, you can't neutral jump it. Like, what am I really doing for you? You know, like, you know, I'm not helping you. I'm just kind of like beating up on a dummy. If you don't know the frame data, you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't benefit you. So definitely help your fellow players, help your homies, and I'm just reading that. And then you know, we both, all of us can thrive. All of us will get stronger. You just have to be able to help each other. So stop being greedy, guys.
Stop being greedy.
You know what I'm talking about. Don't like me say the government names.
The government names. Oh my god.
I will say them.
Not only the government name, you always call them out like saying, you're not guys are going to national.
You ain't going to nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see many West
Come
Palm people
on.
going out to majors and such.
Who have you seen down south besides me and Grim?
Myself, Herbs, Warface.
Well, yeah. But like outside of that group,
Shit,
like,
that's a good point. Frosted maybe at least a few times.
maybe, yeah. But it's like, come on, like, help a brother out, bro. Like, I'm
It's like,
struggling.
I'm actually wanting to know who actually too.
What?
I literally learned there was a scene last year.
In West Palm?
I didn't know it existed.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. A lot of the scene, what we've kind of held down throughout the years, not having a venue has really affected us. But
Yeah.
a lot of times it'll really be like between me or a couple other people, and we'll say, hey, let's bring a bunch of setups and let's go meet somewhere, like at a kava bar or at this person's house. And that's kind of how we've been keeping our scene on life support, but we're ready for it to be brought back to life.
Oh, yeah.
And like having the venue is what's going to help. So hopefully the mindset changes a bit and people start to come out more. Some people are already feeling the motivation where they're starting to go to the locals more in West Palm. That's great. That's a beautiful start. Just get with it, guys. But don't be greedy with your tech. That's definitely something I will say.
The correct term is gatekeep.
Don't gatekeep. Yeah,
It's
do
probably
not
the best term you
gatekeep.
could say. It's common to say for certain actions, but for techniques, yeah, that's gatekeep.
Yeah, if you're not, like, yeah, you're gonna beat me in a set. It's fun, sure, but like,
Oh, yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Grim just mentioned FL Kid. That's literally his name, Florida Kid.
Florida kid.
He's
yeah.
a cami man. He was cooking.
Yeah, he's like 18. I met him last week.
He was there last week.
Yeah, I was TOing for DKs. He was doing something, and he was a really nice kid, man. And like he didn't even know that there was a West Palm local. He was coming here, and he could only come here once a month because his parents were driving him, and that's rough, But
It's understandable. Like, you see the potential all over the place. Like, with new games come with new players or old returning players. There's always a group of people that always want to play something.
Yeah, and it's just not having the access to the place, and now that we do, it's definitely just all word of mouth from here. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be word of mouth and just getting the word out there, finding ways to spread out, advertise, be like, hey, if you're looking to play some games in West Palm and you live in West Palm, then here are some places where you can go to get some games in. Like that's what it's gonna take, and it's not gonna happen, within a week, a month, or whatnot.
It takes time.
It's
Takes
gonna
time.
take you time to build up that crowd since as you said, you guys used to have somewhat of a scene years ago and whatnot. So yeah, it's gonna take some time for you guys to get that, and then once people know about it and more word gets spread, then people are gonna slowly start showing up for them.
And that's a good point, and I really am. I'm almost impatient because I really want to see it.
It's the excitement.
Yeah, it's the excitement. I mean, West Palm has so many. I mean, there's a player named Ice Kid, or maybe Ice Bro, he calls himself now. He was the #1 GNNT4 player in the world. He just a dad who lives in West Palm with 5 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a lot of people won't know because he never gets to come out, and there hasn't been anything in West Palm. I mean, there's the other Dawson player, MS, Mike Smith.
Yes.
He was top 8 in CEO for KOF 14.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these people are killers. They just don't come out. They don't have.
Oh, I call him Frosted by accident. Oh, shoot.
You called him Frosted.
I keep forgetting. There's so many players now.
Shin Greg is another one who's from West Palm, who's a big KOF player. There's a lot of mean talent in West Palm. They just don't have the resources yet. Well, now we're getting them. We don't have the resources yet to thrive on that.
That or they just duck now.
What is it?
They duck.
They duck? They duck me. No, I'm kidding.
They duck Grim.
They duck. Yeah, hey, Grim's no slouch, man. I remember when he was learning Street Fighter 6. I told him, like, after we get done training, you're not gonna lose to any Kimberly, and he's not losing to any Kimberly player now.
Okay, well, he's in this chat. I have a story.
Go on.
Okay, let's hear it.
We had an 8-man bracket in freaking DKs. I had to go against him. It was my last match. He's beating my ass, and I only won 1 match. And you know what I did to him? I threw him 7 times. I did a shimmy into a throw because I'm still learning Ryu.
Oh yeah.
So then last night at Gamers Heaven, we had to go against each other on stream. He did the same thing to me 1 round in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's
You're
wild.
goddamn right, I'm snitching. That shit was funny.
Grim, you wrong for that, Grim. We're gonna talk about that.
Oh
later.
no, I'm gonna fight Grim. I love that man. I found out about him last year, and then I got to know him.
Yeah, he's amazing, man. Like when Red Spectre introduced him to the group, like he was like a perfect fit. You know,
Love you too, Grim. I had to announce that shit because that was the funniest shit I've ever done to anybody.
Oh man, the Cammy, I've been shimmy throwed so many times by Grim TG. Is I'm just and it's that mind game where it's like he's not gonna throw again. There's no way he's gonna do it a fourth time. No way he's gonna do it a fifth time.
Yeah, I did Grim Tuck to Grim. That's how you know.
Yeah. So when
That's
the
how-
other day, which is kind of payback, Grim, I know you're listening. For the other day, we played online, and Kim has a jab like elbow combo, and after the elbow, you could either do grab or jab again, and I just did that like for 90% of his health bar because of the mind game. You know, you play someone enough, you're just like, he's like thinking in his head, oh, he's not gonna do this again. Only a scrub will do this again. I'm just gonna do it again. I don't care.
That NRS tag.
Hey, you gotta adapt. You know, like I jokingly always say like I feel like Capcom tricked me into playing Mortal Kombat because you have characters like JP who are like Mortal Kombat characters, and you have the parry, which is kind of like a
You're
block
right.
button.
You're right.
It's like they're trying to like training wheel my way into playing Mortal Kombat. I'm like, I feel bamboozled. You know that
Yeah.
SpongeBob meme, like in the caveman, he's like looking around like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's how I feel playing Street Fighter 6, but it's very fun. So I mean, I love it. It's great.
Oh my God! Make sure you support your local. Support the people that are involved in your
Please.
local. Use Discord. Make sure you get people attached.
Yes, please support your locals. The people who, I don't want to call anyone out, but the people who complain about not having a scene, and when the scene comes, they're never there.
Yep.
You know, you know what I'm talking about. So
Yep.
I already know what you're talking about.
I lived through that, so just like, yeah, there's not a scene. The scene is dying. I'm just like, you don't show up. You don't come out.
Yeah, I always, and that goes to another like gaming pet peeve. Maybe it's a pet peeve as a TO.
Yeah.
I'll promote, and they'll say, like, oh, it'll be 30 minutes before bracket, and they'll say, well, who's all there? I'm like, just come,
that's
and you'll
right.
be here.
Yeah, but
Who's all there, really?
your competition is not important. You're the more important one to be there.
Either you come, you play a good player, or if it's that free, you come win the money.
Literally.
It's that free. So don't ask me who's there. You can check bracket on start.gg, or you could just show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, I have two arguments on that one. There's two sides. There's a side where I disagree and I do agree. For those that want to know, like, okay, who's there or whatnot, like, because some people, if they're traveling from far, they want to make sure that, you know, there's people actually actively there. Be like, okay,
Absolutely,
people,
absolutely.
yeah, because
Like,
they don't
be
want
best
to,
competition.
yeah, because they don't want to make the drive, especially if it's like a long drive to go to a local and there's not a lot of people.
Yeah, there may be
that's
10
there.
people.
Which I, you know, I'm very empathetic towards where it's just like, yeah, I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to come out and there's about maybe 4, 5, 6 people here. Like, nah, I'm
absolutely.
gonna give you back your money. You know, and we'll try again. But
That's really
that's
really
why
nice.
with Discord and things like that, or if you're gonna come and if you're able to pre-register so that way at least people can see online that, okay, there's a couple of people going, checking the Discord, who's gonna pull up, who's gonna show up. All right, there's lines of communication to where y'all can talk and chat and then be like, all right, you know what, if they're gonna show up, I'll show up.
Real talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, no.
So there's two sides.
There's
to
two
it.
sides for sure to that argument.
But
yeah.
the people who complain about the local scene is dead, and this is my pet peeve, when people say that I'm tired of fighting the same people at my local and whatnot. So I'm just like,
What you gonna do about it?
exactly.
Or
I'm just like, is the experience not that good enough? I mean, do you travel? And these people don't travel.
Yeah.
Funny enough, they say that I'm tired of fighting the same people, but yet they don't travel. Or when they do go to majors, they don't make it far in bracket.
I wonder why.
Exactly. So just like,
Crazy.
maybe because the people who actually show up to locals, consistently enough, you've heard of the phrase iron sharpens iron. Yeah. There's a reason why when people who do show up to locals, especially for Strive, majority of them make it out of pools.
Yep.
Majority of them get far.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. There is definitely
I'm
a
just
method.
saying. I'm just saying.
No, it's facts. It's facts.
It's early.
It's just something I always see as a TO, which is funny. But
Yeah.
luckily, the players do come out. There's always some who are on the fence, and I'm just say, you know where I'm at. You know where I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
So just come out. And I guess my other big pet peeve in like FGC Smash side is that not every event needs or tournament needs to be ranked. Not even because of
Oh, that's right.
XYZ. It's just the pressure. Like if you go to every Smash event and all of them are tier breaker sanctioned, it's just a lot of pressure. Like even me as a competitor, Ryan Medji released that Super 16 thing, and I saw myself like 15th and 16th, and I was sick at home weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get better and go out because I got to go and compete, and and you get to the point where, yeah, I love competing, but then we forget like why we're playing games in the first place.
Yeah.
When you add that stress. So it's like, not everything has to be stressful. And that's why there's a good balance structure in West Palm with like, they have super casual events that like the Wrecked Gaming, those guys, the twins, Soto and Latino Flavor hosts that are like very casual entry level. Do you have more like casual with competitive environment tournaments like mine? And then you have your DK's Battle Lounge, which is like, is
Competitive mix of casual.
yeah, like tier breaker sanctioned. You go in there, you're gonna play the top. You're gonna play top players. You're gonna win points for whatever series you're in. And it needs to be a balance of all three. You don't want to be somebody who just goes out to one, because you're gonna get that IRL burnout. If you're consistently fighting ranked events, you're consistently worried about your performance, and we're affecting your mental health or your financial wealth or your physical health. You don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to have some fun. Whether it's, even if you don't go out, like go home and play Animal Crossing or something, like don't.
Touch grass. No.
Yeah, touch grass.
That too.
Yeah, like.
That too.
Because you see people talking about frame data more than their own lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those people scare me.
Yeah.
They're getting younger as we speak.
Right. I always encourage my players, and some of them feel bad. Like two of them I know specifically are like doing their college thing, so they're coming out less. They're trying to like explain themselves to me, and I'm like, bro, like go to school, get a good job, like go work. Like this is, even if I'm not here, there's always gonna be gaming events anywhere you go in life. I mean, there's colleges now have esports teams where I had 5 esports players from the Kaiser community go to my last tournament just to compete.
Crazy.
And that expands to like different divisional leagues, Valorant, Overwatch. Like esports is so wrapped into everybody's mind right now that this isn't going away. This is only growing. So you have all the time in the world to game and compete. And that's actually something I got advice from Omega Tom Hanks, Ivan.
Hey.
Yeah, he's a goat. He told me like the game just came out. There's no rush to be the best.
Yeah.
You have time. And I really like took that to heart because to me, I was like every game, every match was like deep reflection. Oh, I could have done this better. Oh, I'm glad I won this, but hopefully I don't run into them again later in bracket, and just worrying so much over something that doesn't mean much at the grand scheme of things. Like we all are competitors naturally, yes, but we all have to live our lives. Like there's real life that exists outside of this. And if this is not generating that major source of income for you, go get you that job, that dream job. Go get you the education you need. Go do what you need to do for your life. It's not all just about gaming. Gaming is something we all love, but just don't forget about yourself. That's the most important thing. And that's what kind of helped me a couple weeks ago with my gameplay is I was burnt out. I went to Gamers Heaven Wednesday. I went to Next Level. I went to Prodigies or DK's Battle Lounge Saturday. And we had a house session. A couple of the island guys went to.
Yeah.
That week, I was like basically competing 4 days. And I'm like, man, I need to do something else. So I downloaded like some game on Switch. Oh, it was actually the Red Dead Redemption 1 port for Switch. And I just was chilling on my Western vibe, like
On
just
the Switch?
on the Switch. It wasn't bad because I was playing it when I was going places or like waiting places or, shouldn't say this, but at work sometimes. And, it was fun to relax and like remember why I loved gaming in the first place. And it doesn't all have to be competition. that goes back to my point that they don't all events don't need to be ranked. It's better that there needs to be a healthy balance.
Yeah.
So that there's, so you can enjoy your time. Because when you can tell, like, the way that I vibe with, like, your Butter Punches or your Nightbreeds or your whoever, these are really nice, amazing guys, but the vibe is going to be different at the home session versus, like, going to see them at Gamers Heaven.
Yeah.
People have a little bit more of that competitive edge on them.
Yeah.
A little bit more. But when you get to talk to these people in a casual environment, it's great. And that's the side that everybody kind of lacks on. Everybody knows the fighting. Everybody always fighting, whether it's in-game, out the game on Twitter. Everybody knows the game, but nobody really cares for the community aspect as much anymore. And that's something that I like to push.
That's something that I wanted to focus on, and I think I achieved that more with Strive, more than any other games that I run here at Flynn's. Is where Strive, you have that competitive side, but once it's done and over, everyone's just chilling.
Yeah,
literally.
Like, everyone's just chilling, getting some sets in, whatnot, just talking, just hanging out, and that's my focus, is for it to be, very casual friendly, very casual open, and the competitive side is just like, it's there, but it's not a huge major factor. And that is also something that I'm going to work on for next month when we have our Smash Monthly, to where one of my decisions is, hey, if you sign up for singles, then doubles is free.
That's good. That's really good.
Granted, there's not going to be a prize for doubles, but for every 3 months, I will put a prize for doubles for those that sign up for singles for free. And then there's also a redemption bracket.
Yeah.
For those who want to, be on that competitive side, or just, hey, compete for, more time to compete in another game in another bracket. Cool. So I want to be able to offer that to them. I also give, like, the 4 monitors there, I'll use that for bracket. The table over here, I use that for bracket. And then I'll have these tables just casuals.
That's amazing.
So that way, hey, people can, continue to, play casuals, just to make it very casual, open, very casual friendly. Because I think when it's so competitive, or it's competitive all the time, yeah, it's great, but have something, mix it up a bit. Because most of the people that come out are going to be your 0-2ers, your 1-2ers. Yeah. And, they want to come out and have a good time, have a fun time. And for Smash, it's definitely more, for the you see a lot more often to where it's more casual. There's more casual players rather than competitive players.
Absolutely.
Because your competitive players are going to be the ones that's going to be, traveling, going to, big major events or whatnot, or regionals. They're going to travel. But everybody else, they're just here to have fun. They're here to have a good time, socialize with their friends. So why not grow that part of? I don't know why that beep, but if any, well, we're almost up. Don't worry, y'all. We're almost done. But focus more on the casual aspect of your tournament experience, so that way people don't have to worry about competitive, or if they want to just if they don't want to compete, hey, they can just play casually and just be just be there. And that's something I want to continue to keep pushing, to where more casual. Not less competitive, but keep the competitive aspect. But I don't have to grow it big enough unless I'm doing a Fighter Fest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, on a local level, it should just be more so just casual, friendly, so that way more people can come out, have fun, have a good time, lab some stuff, lab with people that they don't have an opportunity to lab with, because this will be their one opportunity, their one chance to do so. Like, I can tell you, like, if I were to play Strive, I can get games with Marvell. I can get games with Four Faces Buttons. I can get games with Beef Humanity, and the list goes on. And everybody.
Literally.
That's
versus when I'm not here, and now I have to find out what's their schedule like.
Yeah. Oh, when are you home? Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to get a lobby with you guys, but not everybody's available. Versus seeing them there. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. I'm glad you focus on that. That's one of my things as well, is of course having that good casual environment, and then just doing things for the players. I pay top 2 in my tournaments, and third place gets free entry.
That's nice.
Yeah,
to keep people going, at least.
Keep people going. I'm a little old school, so like if it was up to me, I'd just pay top one. But nobody's really rocking with that, so
Yeah.
I try to do what I can for at least top 3.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, with that being said, our closing remarks. Do you have any final things that you want to share with us? Share with the people watching, listening?
No, man. Just like I was saying earlier, just go to your locals, enjoy your games, focus on yourself, your health. If you have any questions or if you want to check me out more, I'm on Instagram as Sleeves Rolled Up Series or Sleeves for my personal page. I run bi-weekly charity tournaments that, it's just for the community. I really don't net any profit for it. It's just kind of my give back to the community because there was times where I couldn't go home and I want to be that outlet for people who need a safe space to come to. So.
Well said, man. Waluigi?
Oh, this was actually a great episode. Sleeves, is great to finally have you after multiple occasions.
Yeah. Against all
I
things,
was
we
actually
prosper.
excited to have you specifically. After Spectre, I'm like, it's good to see people in the West Palm scene coming in,
Yeah.
going back to playing,
I love West Palm.
TOing. Same. I mean, I've lived there for 19 plus years.
Now we got to get Grim on.
Yes.
I'll drag his ass in.
Yes, that's definitely.
That way he gets it. That way Grim gets to be in the hot seat, and then y'all can roast him in the
Oh
chat.
yeah, Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. I can't wait to be on the chat.
Oh, yeah, he's just Mr. Carried. All love
Mr. Carey. Oh,
All
Cammy
love
Carey.
Grim, all love. But like I said, it's great having you, brother.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you.
Can't wait to see you again in a future episode. Have more people in the West Palm scene.
Oh, maybe a West Palm connection. A couple
Yeah, like
hotheads.
Grim Swamp. I fucking love these names. This is why we do this for a living. We love to get people entertained.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. And with me, Sleeves, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Great to have you on, and look forward to see what you're doing up in West Palm. I know great things are going to happen within with 2023 and then going into 2024. As long as you guys keep well knit, and then y'all continue to keep growing and expanding and continue giving people new experiences, good experiences, then West Palm's going to thrive.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's going to
I
thrive.
can't wait. We need it. Those guys deserve it. They've been working. So.
Yes.
Absolutely. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the podcast. If you're new to the podcast, go ahead and give us a follow and a like. And if you also want us to, support the podcast, you can support us by either subscribing or just, sharing the stream. Share the stream, share the podcast, let the people know that, hey, there is a podcast in South Florida that interviews gamers, not just fighting gamers, but any gamers. We'll interview anyone. We'll have anyone on.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Come through.
Yeah, just come through. Just fill out the application. If you don't know where it's at, it's on the South Florida Gamers Podcast Instagram. Just click that link and just fill it out, and we'll get right with you. So with that being said, this has been episode, I believe, 84 or 85.
84.
Are you sure?
Most likely positive. We'll
80
find out later.
something.
We'll
It's
find
80
out.
something.
We'll butcher it later.
It's 80 something. But
But-
thank y'all so much for watching. This has been another episode of South Florida Gamers Podcast. We are signing out.
Peace.